Hello everyone and welcome back to Winds of Arania, our ongoing D&D campaign here at Bold Wolf Gaming. We are back. 2 sessions in a row, I think, finally. Yeah. We're getting our rhythm back.
We're back, baby!
It is a lovely rainy day here in Ohio. We are happy to be here to play some D&D. I'm excited. Hope everybody else is. So... announcements. Next week there will be no stream. I will be in Supervisor Training Academy. So I will be working 7 days straight, starting Monday. However, I do have a long weekend. So tomorrow night at 7, not my usual 8 p.m., I'm going to be streaming Kingdoms of Amalur, Re-Reckoning. Give that a try on stream, see how people like it. I feel like I am getting cut off over here. But that will be this weekend's stream, and then when we come back in 2 weeks, we will be doing 90s Night. And I am going back and forth between either a Game Boy title. Check yourself. Okay, good, Ryan. Well, but I'm going back and forth between a Game Boy title or an N64 title, which I haven't done on 90s Night before. So I will be announcing that once I make up my damn mind. So Rhino Gaming doesn't have anything special coming up this week, he already said, so we'll go ahead and roll right into it tonight. Quick recap of last session. The Regulators were integrated into the Broken Shelf prison, and got an opportunity to prove themselves to the fellow prisoner who seems to be taking care of people and trying to keep things civil and orderly inside of the prison by defending a young soldier from a man named Guillermo, who is running a drug smuggling operation in the prison and trying to use said soldier as a lookout. So in their defense of the weak, they showed themselves to be good-intentioned and revealed their overall plan inside of the prison to the former Commander Second Class, Barthouth. In exchange, she gave them a rundown on the basic political structure inside of the prison, giving them a heads up of some of the gangs that have formed within the prison, as well as certain guards that they have to look out that have their own corrupt intentions. All things that will need to be dealt with before they begin executing their breakout plan and trying to bring some of the deserters over to the Palhas army. And as they finish this conversation, locked in their cells after having been apprehended for starting a fight in the common area, they are all getting ready to settle into bed. So, alright, let's go ahead and get off standby music here. Alright, so, Regulators, you have all decided to turn in for the night, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so, Malcolm, Mira, and Zuko, as the other prisoners in the nearby cells begin to return for their curfew and settle into their beds, you try to find some comfort on the hastily and utilitarian beds that have been placed in the cell. Given your histories there, it is certainly not the least comfortable place you've ever had to sleep, but after some time of enjoying luxury beds within Lord Mayor's estate and Anexa, the comfortable beds on Serenity, it is a little hard to get used to going back to the basics. But you do eventually manage to settle yourself in and fall into an uneasy sleep. Echo, you do not bother trying immediately, as there's a bit of noise as the other prisoners are settling into their cells and talking and falling asleep themselves. The strange noises and odors of mortals that you have gradually started to get used to as you have spent time in this realm. These are things that are fairly easy to ignore, and the snoring that follows when they all do finally settle down, also you are able to eventually push out of your mind as you try to settle into meditation. However, the most distracting thing keeping you from falling into your meditative trance is the blinding divine light that is emanating from Mira and Zuko, which you know to be the god-killer weapons that are now part of their souls, and allowed you to track them down in the first place. But you sit on your designated bunk, and you close your eyes. You focus on your breathing, and all of that starts to fade away. That blinding divine light that nobody else seems to be able to see and even penetrates through your eyelids, you decide to try to use it. And after you're not sure how long, it begins to work in your favor. After most of the other mortals within these prison cells have drifted off to sleep, you hear in the distance a spring thunderstorm is rolling over the mesa, filling the canyon inside of it with the smell of freshly moistened soil and a rhythmic tapping noise that allows you to fall into that meditative rhythm. And again, you try to use that light that never seems to be able to be blocked from your sight. And after a few moments, you stop hearing the rain. You stop hearing the thunder. And everything around you, the smells of the mortals around you, and the sounds, the dank, musty air of the prison cell itself falls away, and that light coming through your eyelids becomes the Fey Realm sky, which seems to be made of sun. And in your mind's eye, you can actually see yourself sitting in a secluded part of a Fey forest. The trees and other plant life around you, a dizzying array of color. You can smell the sweetness of the Fey air. You can hear a distant stream trickling over the rocks, and the sounds of animal life that mortals would find almost terrifyingly strange, but are extremely familiar to you. In your mind's eye, you are home. And as you find yourself here and are seeing this vision, you begin to relax and fall deeper into your meditative trance. You think about nothing, not what you've been through, not what you're expecting to go through in the near future. not your overall reason for being in the mortal realm. You allow yourself to simply be. Your eyes remain closed for a long time. But after a while, sorry, just a moment here. After a moment, that light that is penetrating through your eyelids begins to dim. The air around you grows a bit colder, and you hear the wind rushing through the fey trees, much like the trees in the mortal realm do before a storm. Discomforted by this sensation, you try to open your eyes, and as you do, you see that same forest clearing that you did in your meditative state, but here it seems to be real. But that sky that seems to be made of sun has gone gray. The light in the forest begins to dim. Something that you have only seen in the Fey realm once before. When the city first came crashing into your realm and settled near your village. Night, as the mortals call it. Something to your knowledge that has never been seen in the Fey realm. You remember it made yourself and those around you feel very uneasy, but as time passed and the city sat ominously doing nothing, you tried to simply get used to this new reality. But of course in your mind you know what happened. And as if brought on by your thought, your village begins to materialize around you. Normal at first, as you remember it, unharmed, simply sitting in that strange darkness next to this city that appeared out of nowhere. And then you hear the drums and the sound of this strange undead army marching into your village. And then the sounds begin to leak in. The sounds of your village defenders trying to fight this army off. The sound of the homes in the village burning. Screams of the village people as the attack continues underway. And the vision transitions. You are again standing in the street in the center of town, watching this destruction go on around you. What do you do? You still there?
Yeah, can you not hear me?
I didn't hear. If you said something before, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said I try and stop it.
What do you mean?
like I run towards it and I try and like get people to notice that it's happening, and I try and help people, but it's probably to no avail.
Okay, sure enough, you try to alert. You begin seeing the village people. You see the defenders trying to fight this army off. You see people trying to escape their homes that are on fire and being killed in the streets, but they seem to have no awareness that you are there. What do you do next?
I go to my home, frustrated because I couldn't help them.
Okay. You find yourself through memory making your way to where your home stood, and it too is on fire, entirely engulfed. And out of the front opening, you see two figures step out of the flames. One's a skeleton in heavy metal armor, dragging a large battle axe behind it. Another, a rotted corpse that seems to float above the ground, covered in dark rags that drift behind it as it moves forward, and they stop in front of you, and you remember this scene. They stop immediately in front of you, and both unnatural figures stare at you for a long moment, and then they pass you by, continuing on to the next home that has not yet been torn apart. And this, just as on the night that it happened, more than anything else that you were experiencing, terrified you. The death and destruction that was coming down on your village was disturbing in its own right. But when two members of this strange army looked directly at you and chose you, of all people in the village, to leave unharmed, dismissed with almost disinterest, made you feel strange and frightened. And you begin to immediately have the instinct to run. So what do you do?
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I run.
So just as you did the night that this happened, you run. You find the first clearing at the edge of the village, the opposite direction from the city and from the army that's attacking it. And you run into the forest, the strangely dark, unfamiliar forest. And you run as hard as you can until the sounds fade away behind you. And after a few moments of running, you feel something hit your ankle and you fall forward into the dirt, sliding across the forest floor. This is unfamiliar to you. This does not match with your memory. But you think you must have just tripped over a root that is sticking up out of the ground, until you try to right yourself and proceed forward, and you feel the same sensation against your ankle, but realize that this time it is wrapped. Looking behind you, you can see this root has come out of the ground and wrapped itself around your ankle. It is not a normal tree root. It is glossy and black and dead, but yet it continues to wind itself around your ankle. As you try to pull away, it breaks, and you make it a few more steps, and your other leg is grabbed by yet another branch. And this causes you to fall once again. You try to twist yourself around and push yourself away from whatever this is, as more branches begin to come out of the ground, and you hear the snapping of wood as they change their form to twist their way towards you, taking hold on more and more of you as they go. And after a moment, you realize that they are beginning to look less and less like randomly bent pieces of wood. They're beginning to take on the form of humanoid arms. And as you become more and more restrained by just this unexplained phenomenon, they take on more and more of a humanoid appearance. You begin to see a torso and a neck and legs, and the snapping of wood continues as it takes this form. And at this point, you are almost completely unable to move. It has gripped you by the wrists and by the ankles. And as the head of this strange creature forms, there's something familiar about it. It is a slender, elvish-looking creature, wearing a wicked-looking crown. And the face, something about it. A feeling in your gut tells you you've seen this face before. But as this creature takes its full humanoid form, more branches begin to come out of it, making contact with you at different points, almost outlining you. And the humanoid form that you're seeing begins to turn inside out, inverted in a sense. And it looks at you with these glowing red eyes and an inhuman, or not inhuman, unnatural smile with no joy behind it. There you can only see hatred and malice and rage. And a voice that also sounds familiar speaks to you. You should have never left the Fey realm. What do you do?
I ask him what he wants.
The voice and the form appear feminine, by the way.
What they want.
And it speaks again, and this time you realize with horror why it sounds familiar. Again, it is strange in the way it is smiling, yet only negative emotion seems to be protruding from it. And it says, "I want my life back." I want back what was stolen from me. And at this point you realize that both the face and the voice is your own. As it continues making this outline of you with these branches and turning itself inside out, you are entirely encased in this sarcophagus-like enclosure. Only your dark vision allows you to continue to see the face of this creature. Do you say or do anything?
No. I try and... Well, I mean, I could try and fight it off, but other than that, no. I like try and kick, but no.
Okay. Roll a strength check.
That would be a 5.
Yeah. You moved slightly, but you find that your movement has almost been entirely restricted at this point. You're not even able to get enough momentum to take a swing. The creature smiles even wider at this attempt. Do you know who I am?
Quit hitting yourself.
I think in Luke with Darth Vader on Dagobah. Just saying.
Do you respond? Do you respond? It said, "Do you know who I am?"
I say I do not know who they are. I do not know who you are.
It gives a laugh that is just as free of joy and happiness as the smile. I am the queen. Now the real question is, who are you? And at this point, the inverted face flies closer to you. You feel the sensation of almost a wooden mask pressed against your own face. And for a moment, you have difficulty breathing, and you can see nothing. After a brief moment of panic, you realize that you have been holding your breath, and your eyes are still closed. So you gasp for air, and you open your eyes. And you are once again in the prison cell. As you try to recover from what you just experienced, you hear a whispered voice echo. Who are you? Who are you? And after a few moments, you realize the entire thing has passed. Gauging by the candles in the cell and the lack of light coming from the entryway to the cell block that at least several hours have most likely passed. The rainstorm is gone. You can hear crickets out in the valley echoing their way into the cavern. But otherwise, you are back where you belong. So, what would you like to do?
I'm probably just gonna sit there and like think about it and try and get my breathing under control.
Alright. So everybody can, if you haven't already, can hit the long rest button. And Echo, you having finished your trance, are good to wait basically for everyone to wake up the following morning.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Out of subject then, quick question. Did you eat my M&Ms?
Nope.
Well, someone's gonna die. I would like to rage despite the fact that I'm not a barbarian because my M&Ms are gone.
Sorry, it was me.
How
So-
dare you?
Dawn breaks and passes as it is well into spring in this part of the continent. And everyone begins to wake up. You hear the bells warning that morning mealtime is approaching. What would you all like to do?
Well, Zuko's hungry, so
Yeah, he's gonna want to eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we're probably gonna. I'm guessing they're probably gonna be having breakfast shortly at one of the encampments.
Anything
I'm
anybody
gonna check.
want?
I'm gonna check in with my crew here, and just make sure everybody's doing okay. Everybody sleep well.
if you want to call a hard cot and sleep well,
Zuko, you slept
Yeah.
in a well, didn't you? Oh, no, wait, no, that was... Never mind, that was Alaric.
Yeah, I mean, we have been used to some creature comforts, I think. Even on the airship, you know, the beds are pretty comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, this was like sleeping on a rock.
Well, I don't know what else I can tell you. We're between a rock and a hard place right now.
But
Oh, and speaking of sleeping, Cece, or Echo, you don't really sleep, do you?
nope.
Did you have a nice whatever you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Deception check.
I think Malcolm's
How
pretty
did I know that was coming?
You can't just tell a bald-faced lie and not expect a deception check.
That was a new bag too, by the way. I had just opened that.
Alright, we'll deal with it in the morning.
No, I
I
have
rolled.
those next.
I rolled insight against her deception, right?
If you want to, yeah.
No, I'll let it be. I'll I'll say I could probably sense that she's trying to just throw me off, but I'll just let it be and I won't push.
Well, let's see what her deception check is.
Okay.
16.
16. Okay, so yeah, if nobody's looking for it, she
I
manages.
mean, my
to pass
passive
it.
insight's 14, so it's almost.
Oh my god. I feel like Malcolm would push at some point, though.
Like I said, with a roll of 16, she manages to pass it off without anybody really clocking it. So, if there's nothing else, you all go to your morning meal. It is... Let's see.
I'm going to instantly look around for Guillermo.
Roll a perception check.
I'd like to help with that perception check.
Alright, go for it. You know how that works. Advantage
Yeah,
for
roll,
one, or...
roll 2. Yep. Let's see. 15. You said perception, right?
Yep.
23.
Okay. You do not see any sign of Guillermo or his thugs, and nor do you see him arrive at any point during the hour you have to eat. The morning meal is largely just the same thing you had for dinner.
Zuko probably not giving a crap.
Yeah, food is food. Even if it's 100 years old and rotten.
Zuko's just like, if it's free, I'll eat it.
Pretty much.
Barfouth sits with you during the meal, makes small talk, and does it towards the end of the meal, discreetly let you know he is planning to take care of some things, begin spreading some rumors, getting a feel for the morale in the prison, but asks if there's anything you need before he goes off and does his thing.
I'd like to ask him a little bit, because I think we have a decent plan to take care of the guard and Guillermo's gang, but maybe ask for any insight about what he thinks we should do to take care of the Torgus game or distract them while we're trying to do everything.
Right. I was gonna say the same thing. Get out of my head.
So I think we don't really have a plan made up for that yet.
And what don't we have a plan made up for yet?
The Torgus gang, the one that runs protection. Barfouth thinks about it for a moment. I think Torgus gang is least of our worries, especially in the initial stages. Their intentions overall are good. They're a bit unethical in the way they do business, of course. You know, like any protection racket, they'll cause some hurt to encourage people to buy into their services sometimes. But honestly, I think the Torgus gang would be the first one you'd be able to convince to come to our side when the time comes. They have no interest in being here any more than anyone else. Whereas Guillermo may prefer running his business in here as opposed to being on the outside.
So it's pretty much just a matter of convincing the Torgus gang to our side before one of the other gangs would convince them to stop the breakout.
That's correct. Like I said, I think we can save them for last, so to speak. And yes, either talk to them, maybe bribe them a little bit to sweeten the pot, get them to more malleable. But I don't think they're going to go out of their way to disrupt your plan in the early stages.
Now, when you say bribing, how do you think they would be? Do you think they would be amenable to, if agreeing to join the new Palhaus army, because they are? I think they tend to be the more formidable people if they're running protection. What do you think they would say about officer positions in the new Palhaus army?
I think you may be able to win that deal over. I think there's probably a 50-50 mix amongst them as far as those who deserted for honorable reasons and those who simply did not want to go face an army of undead. But overall, there isn't a strong power structure.
I could probably work out either an option of a officer position or a monetary bonus for coming to our side. So we'll figure that out.
If you have any connections on the outside, financial means, you may find some things easier than most would. And there's, of course, some forms of currency within the prison, but there are also prisoners who still have contact with their family outside of the prison, and any money that made its way to their family could be considered payment in some situations. I don't know how well off you are, but it's something to take into consideration. If you have connections on the outside, you may be able to work some of your plan on the outside as well. This is an example of why Guillermo may prefer to continue running his business inside the prison, because many of the prisoners he is selling to their families are sending money to his family.
Okay. We got some stuff to work with, I think, there.
Anything else before he wanders
What
up?
about the Fight Club?
What was that, man?
What about the Fight Club? Any suggestions there?
Well, I suppose one important thing would be to make sure that Sogard doesn't take an interest in making any of you join the Fight Club. That is how we've lost quite a few prisoners already. He gets bored after a while and ends up having a fight to the death. But if you don't get recruited into the Fight Club itself, they are also fairly easy to avoid. We'll just need to make sure none of his people find out about what we're doing, and possibly deal with Sogard himself before we do the actual breakout. And you'd be doing a service regardless. The man you saw me making the eye patch for lost it in one of his fights.
I think it'd be great to have him killed then.
I was actually about to say, what if one of us was to join the Fight Club and challenge him to a fight to the death in the Fight Club?
Get out of my head.
It's not an impossibility, but I do feel Sogard's probably too much of a coward to put his own skin on the line.
So what you're saying is, the night of the breakout, I have to kill him in his sleep. Gotcha.
Well, at least be polite and wake him up just before you do the deed. Wouldn't want him dying not knowing who did it.
Of course.
Oh,
So,
Malcolm wouldn't kill someone in their sleep. He would actually wake them up and then.
Yeah, it's the only civil thing to do.
Alright, well, I'm going to get to work. My recommendation, take some time, get to learn the prison, the patterns, the layout, so you aren't winging it when you decide to make your final breakout attempt.
Sounds good.
So, what I'd like to do for my character, because I cannot see at night without my goggles, and I'm not going to be having them for a while, is nighttime probably the best time to try to make my way to the stash?
In theory, yes, but you have the issue of the cells being locked.
Night patrol? Oh.
The night patrol would be the least of your worries. The fact is all the cells are magically locked. So that is something you're going to have to figure out how to deal with.
They're magically locked?
Yes, all the cell doors close. Everybody's expected to be in their cells by sundown, and then all the doors close and lock magically.
And what if you're not?
If you're caught outside, there will be repercussions. No one
How
specified.
loud is the chime of opening?
I mean,
I
it
forgot
sounds.
about that.
It's like a tuning fork.
So it shouldn't probably cause a commotion if I were to use it at night. So I don't think I brought that in with me.
No, I don't think you did.
But
I think we.
If I can get to the stash at some point in time, maybe if somebody were to block for me so I could get to it, that could be something I could write and have him leave for us.
So
way we
yes,
can
in theory,
get to the
if you
stash.
were to keep yourself outside of the cell at sundown, and go get it without being caught, you'd be able to get yourself back into the cell at your leisure.
True, that would just be like 2 nights, I think, because we'd have to write a note for him to leave it in the stash first.
Yep.
Or did I tell? Or was that one of the things I told him to put in the stash to begin with? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
We should have written it down.
We probably should have. Actually, did I? Is a better question. I'll check on that. You can keep going. But in the off chance that I do have it in the stash, I want to kind of familiarize myself with the route to the stash at night, because I won't be able to see very well.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe figure out how many steps it is, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a relatively flat surface on the way there, that kind of thing.
Right. And so alternative times that would also be fairly safe to get to is meal times. Poor weather. Anytime that there is not a patrol that happens to be walking past the stash, or the entrance to the stash anyway, and anytime there are not other prisoners that would be standing in the area. So generally around meal times, everybody's gathering in the little pavilions where they have their meals. Bad weather, they generally tend to stay in shelter. So let me know whenever you want to make your first venture to the stash.
So you said whenever meal times are starting? Or
Yeah,
during
I mean,
during meal times?
Yeah, right before and during the meal itself, everybody tends to be away, out of the common areas, or out of the, the central canyon itself. We're not wandering around.
And what's that star on? What are the different stars on the maps? Are those the camps?
The stars are the guard towers,
Guard towers. Okay.
basically the
So it's-
outposts.
So is the entrance to the stash on the other side of that little area?
Okay, you see this little dark spot
Yeah.
and the slightly darker brown? That is essentially like a mesa within the canyon itself. Kind of narrow rock formation, fairly tall. So the stash is just out of the line of sight of this
Okay.
guard tower over here.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. Was if I were to try to go to the stash, the guards wouldn't be able to see me from the ground.
You just want to avoid, because they do also have patrols that run through at different increments, and all
Okay,
the squares.
so-
Like I said, the squares are the cell blocks. Like this one right here, 4D, is where you guys stay, and the pavilion is just at the bottom of the ramp, so to speak.
So they don't force us to do labor or anything like that while we're in here. We just walk around the fucking mesa, no canyon.
So as far as you've seen so far, no. There's no forced labor. It's basically just a containment area.
No wonder people want to go to fights. You're bored. I think I'd probably want to keep... Like, I don't want to be, like, right on top of the stash, but I kind of want to maybe go over to the west, right above the other cell block there. And just kind of rest with my back up against the wall and just keep an eye out for patrols and how often they go by the stash.
There you go. All right, so that's the first thing you do after breakfast is go in there and get an idea of how often patrols go?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so you're doing that. What is everybody else doing? Don't everybody talk at once.
Sorry. You were, you said we're still eating our meals, correct?
Well, at this point, you guys are in control of the clock, and we're moving into more long things that take longer to accomplish. You're not going minute by minute.
Okay.
There's a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it at the moment. But it's like
Step by step, day by day.
kind of just doing the narrative, long-term narrative here.
Okay.
So Malcolm is going over. He's going to hang out near the entrance to the stash so he can clock the frequency of patrols.
Not near the stash, because I think that is going to be obvious. Like, why are you hanging around here all day?
Okay, so you're going to
I'm going to go like to the west-hand side of the canyon there, between our cell block and the one south of it.
Gotcha.
On the wall there.
Yep.
So I have a line of sight of where the stash is at, but like not like standing right next to it.
Makes sense. All right. So what are the rest of you doing?
Guillermo was
What-
bullying.
Yeah, wasn't I supposed to follow somebody being invisible and see what happens?
So, Jake, I think what we're talking about with you is that because you can turn invisible, you could like follow like Guillermo's operation and see what guards are in his pocket.
Okay.
Like maybe see if he's bribing anybody or who he talks to see maybe what guards we can report to the guard, like what bad guards we can report to the good guards to kind of cause a rift. I don't know entirely how we're going to do it.
Right.
But I think that could probably be some good information to have, is like who are Guillermo's inside men.
So you just want to do some invisible recon throughout the day on watching a day in the life of Guillermo?
Pretty much.
Okay. Bless you.
Aren't we also going to talk to that one guy that we saved from Guillermo as well?
Echo, do you want to take that on yourself?
I can talk to him. Yeah.
Okay.
Do the ladies of the group want to go? Well, I guess Echo really. Do they have male or female of her race?
They do. It's Archfey that are genderless.
Okay. Yeah. So the ladies could go talk to him if you want. Unless you have something else to do, Mira. I'm not sure if you did have anything else planned.
No, I'll go ahead and follow Echo. I think she's got a good idea.
Because the first rule about Fight Club is you don't go talk about Fight Club.
Yeah. Yep.
I want to talk about Fight Club.
All right, so we'll start with Malcolm. What you accomplished throughout the day. All right, so you hang out in with a line of sight on the stash, and you look like you're just hanging out. Is there anything you want to do to occupy yourself while you're doing this to make yourself look?
Yeah, you know what? What the heck? I don't have any paper or anything here, so I'm gonna have to try to remember most of what I'm gonna be doing here. But I want to take like a stick or something if I can find it. I'm guessing this is somewhat like rocky, loose soil.
Yep.
I want to try to figure out how to make a sawed-off shotgun.
So you're gonna draw schematics in the sand,
Yeah,
essentially. All right.
yeah. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm probably have to do a check later on to remember what the hell I drew in the sand. You know.
All right. So that's good. You're drawing in the sand, keeping an eye up as you see patrols pass. All right. Make sure you're taking notes on this stuff too.
I am.
You notice that there are 3 patrols that seem to overlap throughout the day, and the 3 of them pass by this particular location at 3 different intervals. There's one that passes by about every hour and a half, which seems to be based in the the main guardhouse that you guys came in through, the gatehouse. They only come by every hour and a half or so. There's another one that comes from the guard tower immediately to the east of your stash. They pass by every 45 minutes. And there's another one that seems to be based in the guard tower next to the waterfall. They pass by every hour and 20 minutes. Nope, sorry, that's wrong. They pass by every 2 hours.
Okay, so they overlap, you said. So do they, like the first one comes 45 minutes after sunup, or like how much space is between them?
So you have one group that comes by every hour, one group that comes by every 2 hours, one group that comes by, what did I say, every 45 minutes?
Yeah.
So basically on 1 hour you'll have one group of guards, next hour you'll have 2 groups of guards, and at the 45-minute mark, roughly, you'll have a separate group of guards that comes by. So okay. Generally you've got windows of about either 15 or 45 minutes where there are no guards.
Got it.
Okay. And as I said, you notice throughout the day that around meal times, the traffic in the canyon dies down significantly. Usually during those periods, you'll see the 45-minute group come through.
So the guard group that comes every 45 minutes, technically if they came every 45 minutes, they'd be coming the exact same time the hour and a half group comes by, because 45 plus 45 is an hour and a half.
Oh, yes, yep, you're right. I didn't do the math there.
Which isn't a problem. I just want to make sure I'm understanding it correctly. So there's really like 45 minutes at a time, and then a half an hour break before the 2 hour group comes. Okay, I got it.
Specifically, make sure you make the note of the one that comes from the gatehouse too, though. That may be significant down the road.
Okay. Yeah, 1.5 hours from the main guardhouse / gatehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because they have access to the gatehouse itself.
Gotcha.
where the weapons are.
Mm-hmm. Zuko's thinking about it.
I want my damn bow back.
Well, isn't your bow
Oh, no,
part
no.
of your soul?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
I know,
that.
but just metaphorically.
Also, your personal weapons were left with the Cerulean Guard. They're being taken back to Lorimer, who will, when the time comes, be able to... But arming the rest of the prisoners is the issue.
Correct.
And one option
That's-
for doing that would be stealing the weapons from...
That would also have to be done like right as we're ready to break out, because we really can't store them or stash them anywhere.
We couldn't
You
hide them under a pile of boulders or...
You could, you just
Anything.
got to figure out how. It'll be an undertaking.
Just like
You don't...
three weapons a day in the chest, and then we bury them under some rocks.
No, but a better idea would be to maybe check out the waterfall and see if there's some
Ooh.
room behind it or something.
How far is the waterfall from the chest?
From the stash,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good distance.
Yeah, like we're gonna walk across the compound with swords and shit.
What we could do,
Well, keep in
Is
mind,
it-
they managed to walk across the prison with drugs somehow. They're getting them to all of the cell blocks.
is have Lorimer leave the wizard's doorknob in the thing for us, and we just throw all the swords and shit in the wizard's door, close it back up, and put the wizard's doorknob back in the stash until we're ready to arm everybody.
There we
I
go.
feel like Guillermo will probably smuggle shit in his butthole.
His gear hole.
Yeah.
Zuko! Zuko! I need you to shove the sword way up your butthole.
I need you to hide this way up in your butt.
Wait a minute. Let me go back here. Isn't Guillermo the name of the guy that runs the chicken place in Breaking Bad?
Isn't that his name?
No, Gustavo.
Gustavo, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we were close.
Yeah, it was close. I was like, wait, is it? No, it's Gustavo. Gustavo Fring.
It's gotta be Gustavo.
Yep. So,
I was going to say a little bit too on the nose there, Matt.
no, I'm surprised you haven't noticed that he has the same name as the familiar from What We Do in the Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Guillermo.
Bring in the drugs, Guillermo.
Alright, so while Malcolm's doing that, Zuko, you find your way to Guillermo's cell block, which I think I wrote. Bear with me just a moment. I know I wrote down what cell block he's in somewhere here.
Take your time. There we go. How are they not asleep yet? It's 9:07.
Is he in that cell block we investigated in Phasmophobia where I about pooped myself?
Yeah, I heard that one was bad.
What happened here? I feel like part of this map is cut
You
off.
guys playing that game this year for Halloween?
Probably. I wouldn't mind playing it again.
Cool.
It was fun.
I have a few friends that play it for shit and giggles. I shit you not.
I'm just gonna have to like turn down my subscriber or my freaking jump scares.
Well, I still use the stuff on Matt. Anytime I'm on his stream.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Drank some chocolate wine, and I'm still on a tipsy. I might need another cup.
23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. All right, Zuko. You find that Guillermo's cell block is, if you draw a diagonal line straight across from 4D, past that mesa, to the opposite end that dips out on the other side. Wish you could see the mouse. Almost like connect the dots. If you go to the one that's right next to the mesa in the center, and then directly across again, that's where he is.
I can see your cursor. Can you point it to me?
Oh, hold on. I can't see where my cursor is showing up for you, so...
At the bottom by the... Oh, no, it's up top.
That's weird. I can't see my cursor on my monitor.
I can't see it anymore.
Computer's being a pain in the ass.
Nope, there it is.
Oh, you see it right there?
That one?
Yeah, this one right here, diagonally across from 4D.
So directly across from the waterfall?
Yep.
And straight up from the stash.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's the one. That's his cell block. You managed to find him. He is in bad shape after the fight, but he's also irritated, of course. But he manages to get himself going. He has a much larger group with him, which splits up shortly after they meet. A group follows him into this canyon on the right-hand side and into a space between those two bottom cell blocks. Two of the people that are with him stand guard at this opening in the rock wall, while the rest of them slip through to the inside. What would you like to do?
They haven't spotted me, I'm assuming. I'm assuming I'm invisible.
Correct, you're invisible.
Okay.
It's a cramped space, and there are two people standing directly in front of it.
Like I can't squeeze past?
Right, not without making contact with him.
Okay, and then, okay, so they're like in a canyon, going into like a cavern almost?
Not a cavern implies like closed on top. It's like open on top. It's almost like a much narrower canyon that you have to like step sideways to squeeze
Am I
through.
able to get on top and maybe see what's going on from above?
It's pretty high, but you can give that a shot.
Because I know, like, because of me being a half elf, you know, the treacherous terrain doesn't bother me.
Right. But we're talking like climbing a fairly like almost 90-degree rock face. It's possible. It's possible. But you would have, to make an athletics check for the climb.
Okay, is there any way I could potentially make a distraction somewhat nearby without jeopardizing being invisible?
Yeah, what do you have in mind?
So there's a lot of rocks everywhere. Is there like a pile of rocks nearby that if they were to fall over, they might rush over there to see? Or one guy would rush over there to see?
That's possible,
And then
yeah.
I slip through that way?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
Jesus. 7.
Yeah, good enough. You do spot a place in the rock wall that is eroded pretty badly and is kind of crumbling. And where it is located is just outside of the view, around the corner to the west of where the stash or the crevice is. So knocking that loose would give them the impression that somebody might be coming.
Okay.
It would definitely be a concern that at least one of them would probably go look at.
Mm-hmm.
So that what you want to try to use?
Yes.
All right. Roll a dexterity check.
So that would be whatever I roll plus the modifier.
Yep.
All right. 19.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you managed to nail that spot right in the middle, and you create a small rock slide, essentially, just outside of their view. And one of them does, in fact, go to look to make sure that nothing is coming their way, while the other one stays where he was.
Okay.
What do you do from there?
I don't know if I would be able to stealthily, run or, speed walk to an extent to get back there before the other guy does, to slip through the cavern.
Oh, from the position you hit the rocks, you can easily get to the crevice before the guard returns, but there's still one standing there, so what do you want to do about him?
Am I able to slip by quietly?
With just one of them standing there, it is a possibility. So you just want to try to slip past him into the crevice?
Yeah, I don't think anything crazy, because, if I knock him out, then that sounds an alarm to the other guy.
Correct. That makes sense. Alright, so, we'll just call this a stealth check.
Okay.
Trying to slip past him without touching him or making any noises that would alert him that something's going on.
$26.
Nice. Yeah, you managed to sprint over to the opening, and then you turn yourself sideways, manage to slip past him without touching him, and you manage to get into the crevice. You step sideways for about 20 feet, and it kind of twists and turns, so you can't actually see into it directly from the start. Once you pass about a space, it widens up, and another 30 feet past that, it turns again, and you find yourself in a decent-sized opening where Guillermo and the guys that went in with him are all standing around, and he is passing out potion bottles, it looks like, and pouches, stuff like that, to each of them. And he is the entire time grumbling about what occurred the night before. Hold on, let me check something here. Oh, he's also grumbling about the fact that he's short on supply now because they were not able to pull off. They weren't able to smuggle in what was coming in last night. And but mostly, like I said, he's kind of mumbling a lot of this under his breath, and from the distance you're standing at, you can't quite hear all of it, but kind of occasionally he gets frustrated and shouts, "I want them dead!"
Good luck with that.
And you hear something about him telling the guys to charge double, or give them half their usual order to make up for the drop in supply. But it appears you have found where he stores the stuff before distributing it.
Is Zuko invincible, or
He's
did he use
invisible.
his ring?
I'm
Oh,
invisible.
okay. I'm sorry, I might have missed that because I was yelling at our kids to go to back to sleep.
So, what would you like to do?
So I'm assuming he's only passing these out to the his fellow prisoners that he's got
Yeah.
working for him.
Yeah, you get the impression the guys that came in with him are his dealers, essentially.
Okay. No guards, anything like that.
Nope, no, not here.
Okay. And how many of them were there?
Guys that went in with him, I'd say about 6.
Oh, jeez. Okay, that's a lot of people.
Okay. Okay. I think that's everything I need.
All right. So you just watch until they're done, and then follow them out.
Yeah.
All right. So it takes a few minutes to get everything distributed, and then they all file back out of the crevice. As they go, the 2 people that were guarding the entrance also leave, and you are free to exit unnoticed. Continue following them around for the rest of the day, but that group splits up almost entirely. You do see him meet up with guards around the prison, about 5 different ones, and you get the impression with discussions going on between them, they are in on his operation. They're just low-level guards that seem to keep eyes turned the other direction when he's operating around the prison. One catches your attention in particular. Towards the end of the day, he is talking with a guard, and you hear a bit of the conversation where Guillermo suggests possibly giving him, the guards, a list of some of their customers and having a bed check, essentially,
What the fuck?
to recover some of the products and make it look like he had nothing to do with it. But the guard, while entertained by the idea, doesn't feel like they have enough people on their side to do the checks and get the drugs back in his hands, which Guillermo is not happy about. So he is very concerned about the drop in supply that was caused by yesterday's scuffle.
Okay. I'm almost feeling we're ready. We, shortly before, we kind of steal all of his shit and, I won't say give it away, but place it in spots where other prisoners might find it.
Okay.
And then he goes in there to get more to sell, and there's nothing there, and he freaks out, and he's accusing everyone.
It's an idea. Alright, so that brings us to Mira and Echo. You managed to find... what's his name? Jonas, the young soldier who Guillermo was going after. He actually seems to spend most of the day not wandering the canyon, but staying in his cell, which is fairly close to yours. He is in 4A, which is down on the ground level.
Good thing you didn't say 1D, because there can't be a Jonas in one direction.
God. Anyway, you find him. You find him in his cell. He is reading a book. What would you like to do?
Um, hmm. I want to ask him what book he's reading. Oh, yep. That, and I was going to ask him what book he's reading, just to kind of be nice and like, yeah, how he's doing, and ask kind of what book he's reading.
All right. As you approach, he recognizes you, and he stands up politely. Oh, I know you two. You helped me out last night. Just a book of Dwarven sagas that Barfouth lent to me. Doesn't seem to have a title, just lots of very old stories about Dwarven warriors. And I'm doing good, thank you. You spared me probably from a lot of hurt last night. I'm not sure who you are or why you felt the need to help, but I'm grateful for it. Is there anything I can help you with?
Well, first I introduce myself as Echo, and I say this here is my friend Mira.
Echo and Mira, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Meet you.
He stands there awkwardly waiting for the conversation to continue.
Shut up, I'm trying to think.
Takes a small nap, gets his taxes done. Be right here whenever you're ready.
Can we roll for uncomfortable silence?
Fuck you!
I would like to ask him basically why Guillermo was kind of what Guillermo wanted with him.
Yeah, like why he was picking on him.
Yeah.
He starts looking uncomfortable at this point, and a little bit more like the timid guy you saw when Guillermo came over. I don't think I should talk about that. It's not business I care to be involved in, but it could get a lot worse if I started spreading his secrets around.
We're not gonna tell anyone.
I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Roll a persuasion check.
Yes, the old, we're not
Okay.
going to tell anybody persuasion tactic. That works.
Tell anybody? I have to find my D20. Hold on. It went missing.
You said persuasion check?
Mm-hmm.
Just so all the viewers out there know, last week, it's been a week, we
Shut up.
discussed how they were going to charm this guy. And the best they just came up with was,
We're not going to tell
you
anybody.
won't tell anybody.
Okay. We're trying. Oh, it's in my
tired,
pocket.
and
I found
barely
it.
think. Jesus.
Yeah, and I
Susie,
was
you got anything better? Fail.
no, I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm shy, okay?
Shit.
Alright,
It's
so
okay.
persuasion.
It's okay if you guys fumble around a little bit. I won't tell anybody.
20, bitches.
Jeez. Okay, so
And if you want
I mean-
a screenshot, I'll give it to you.
Was it a nat 20 or a dirty 20?
It was still 30. I was a 19 plus 1. So, shushy.
Mira, you do know that as a DM, a lot of times when you're figuring out the DC or difficulty
17.
of a persuasion check, a lot of times you can adjust that DC based on what you said your character said. So a 20 might not be enough.
Matt, you'll sleep in the bed. I'm sleeping on the couch.
And mine is a 17?
Look, you both seem like trustworthy people, and I mean, in general, I guess I believe you, but it still seems very risky. He looks around and tries to make sure there's nobody else in the room. If anybody even knew you were asking these questions, I could be in trouble.
I say that we're trying to help him.
Help me how?
Okay, hold on. I need
Do we know if he's safe to tell? I don't know if he's safe to tell.
Are they within 500 feet of where I'm at?
No.
So I would right now be where I'd be like chime in, hey guys, how's it going? Am I hearing a whisper?
Fuck you.
What do you think?
I'm trying to think, okay? Because obviously we're trying to charm this guy, but
I mean,
shit. Oh,
We
shit.
don't want to tell him what's going
I
on.
have a charm
I'm-
spell, but they would remember me using it.
you guys are girls, he's a dude, right?
The fuck do you want me to do? Shit. What? No. Sorry, men are not my type.
Dummy mommy.
Women.
I'm hearing.
Derailing fast.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Christ.
I mean, you guys, we already. I can't chime in. I can't chime in. You guys are at a different place than I am. I can't chime in.
I know you're in a different place. It's just I'm trying to think, and my brain is mush. It's fucking mush. Let somebody give him caffeine.
You know,
Can I inject
screw
caffeine
it.
into my brain?
I would like to roll to seduce the answer out of him.
God.
I'm gonna die. This is where I'm gonna walk away if she succeeds. I'm gonna walk away.
Let's be real here. She is a fey creature, so she has magic lady bits. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
This is not the way Matt was picturing. You could tell because he's looking down. He's just like, fuck.
Roll a performance check.
Oh my god, the dice just went rolling. Too far! Too far!
Chase the dice.
Too far!
Are you sure?
21.
I'm sorry, what was it?
I'm sorry, what?
21.
21.
Oh my god. I'm walking away. Walking away.
Okay, so in G-rated terms, can you explain what you're trying to do?
she coming back? I thought she just left for jokes, but
She left?
Yeah, she's not in the Discord right now for some reason. Oh, there she is.
welcome back.
Never done this.
If you're gonna roll seduction, you gotta seduce.
Obviously, super
I don't know.
well thought out.
Sway your hips. I don't know. Shake your. I've never seduced anybody, so yeah.
So basically, hip swaying, trying to, flirt with him. Sitting on his lap, the usual
Okay.
G-rated seduction.
All right. So
Oh my
he
god.
becomes a stutterer very quickly. His entire face goes red, and he looks like he's gonna pass out. But you eventually get out. I'm just a lookout. When he brings in his drugs through the gatehouse, I make sure none of the guards that aren't in on it that they don't see. And at that point, he becomes a blubbering mess. Jesus,
can I
Echo.
know
He is like 1/8 your age.
Cradle rubber.
You could be his great-great-grandmother.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
God, guys, knock it off.
He doesn't know that.
Alright, so what do you do from there?
Oh my god, not the way I was picturing today. To
I
go.
give him a kiss on the cheek, stand up, and say thank you.
He looks very confused and blue. What else do you guys want out of him?
What happens if you don't end up being lookout?
Well, I imagine he'd probably find somebody else. After what happened last night, I'm not sure if he's going to continue pursuing me, honestly.
I think you would be on the safe side then.
Yes, I imagine you've helped me get out of the entire arrangement.
Also, he never wanted to do it anyway.
Exactly.
But he has looked out for him in the past.
Come
Is that
again?
what they gathered, Matt?
Yes.
That he has looked out for them in the past? Okay. Maybe you guys might want to find something out about the number of guards, the guards he uses, or maybe the route he takes to the gatehouse. There might be some knowledge we would like to know.
I think it's a pretty idea. I feel like the sarcasm wasn't needed.
You guys just like, okay, he's a lookout. That's all we need. Come on, guys.
First, I'd like to tell him that if he decides to pursue him again, that he should let us know.
Okay.
How many guards does he have in his pocket?
Hard to say in
I
total.
was also gonna ask that.
Maybe about a dozen total throughout the entire prison. There's the ones that help him smuggle the stuff into the prison itself, and then there's the ones that make sure his dealers are able to do their business. To some extent, they keep his customers from getting caught as well.
Do you know how they get the drugs in and out of the prison? Or into the prison?
He starts looking around more. There's a room inside the gatehouse, on the lower level. There's a false wall covering. Well, I guess it's a real wall, but they modified it. It's a back entrance to his stash. The drugs are shipped in with normal supplies to the prison, food, stuff like that. One of the guards separates it in the storage area, and then usually late at night, Guillermo will and his group will leave their cells. They'll go into the stash, enter the gatehouse from the secret entrance, and carry the drugs out of the gatehouse through that secret passage.
Any idea what route he takes?
Well, I mean, he sneaks his way across from his cell block to the stash entrance, which is over in the East Canyon. And at that point, there's no more sneaking involved, really. It's just a matter of getting into the storeroom and getting the drugs out before any of the guards who aren't in on it notice anything's going on down there.
You said he escapes the cells. Any idea how he manages to do this?
I don't know particularly. I think probably one of the guards he works with either unlocks it, or for all I know, he has a secret exit out of his cell. I haven't actually been there when he's escaped. I know he has a guard unlock mine.
Okay.
And then they sneak me across the canyon. I go into the stash with them, and then I stand at the stairway from the storeroom to make sure no other guards are coming while they have the secret entrance open.
What do they do if there's a guard coming?
They close the secret entrance. The guard in the gatehouse, what's his name? Basily. And he explains away any noises or anything that he was looking for something in the stored goods there. But they need the lookout to make sure that the secret entrance is closed and that all of the prisoners are out of the storeroom before anybody comes down.
Okay. A question, and it flew out of my mind.
All right, while you're having this conversation, someone else does enter the cell block with a wooden cart. An older gentleman, a bit battle-worn, but kindly. Get the impression probably some sort of administrative role, like a quartermaster or something when he was in the military. But he has a wooden cart with books on it, and he hands one to brain fart.
Jonas?
Yeah, Jonas. which he thanks him for, and you see him hand the man a pouch, which appears, based on the smell, is probably full of tobacco. And the man with the cart leaves. Afterwards, you see Jonas kind of gives you a nervous look, but decides that he doesn't have to worry about it, and he opens the book, which is carved out, and inside the pages there is a potion bottle. Very strange looking mixture.
Can I ask him about the potion bottle?
Yes, sorry. I've been getting sick. Worried I might have been exposed to something magical that's messing with me. This is supposed to be a general cure potion. Gets rid of any magical ailments, at least minor ones. Doesn't look like any I've ever seen before, but
May
what
I
am
examine
supposed
it,
to do?
please?
Sure. And he hands it to you.
What kind of roll do I need to make?
Roll a. What would that be? The same check you do to make your potions. I'm having a brain fart for what it is. Well, actually, do it wisdom plus proficiency for you to check what the potion is.
Wisdom plus proficiency.
Yep. And plus your d20 roll.
Okay, where is proficiency?
Your proficiency is 4, so your wisdom is 3. So add 7 to your d20.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
Jesus.
Is that like a medicine check that she uses to make potions, Matt?
I thought it was medicine. Yeah, I thought it was medicine check.
Well, I think when she's making the potions, it's dexterity plus proficiency, because it's the actual. It's the toolkit she's using, and generally toolkits use dexterity. But since she's examining what the potion is and using her knowledge of potions, it's more wisdom based.
I rolled a 10.
So 17 total.
17. Okay. Yeah, it appears to be an elixir of health, which cures. It basically clears conditions like blinded, deaf, and paralyzed, poisoned. Typically, it is a clear red liquid with tiny bubbles of light. This one looks a little bit brackish. You get the impression it might make him a little sick to his stomach, but it'll still more or less have the magic properties of the proper potion and do what it's supposed to.
Okay. So I let him know that, but I also would like to heal him as well, if that's okay with you.
Okay. He isn't suffering any physical. I'm trying to
So
do
my
this
healing
narratively
wouldn't
and
work.
yeah, he's not missing any
Okay,
hit
okay, I
points.
got
It's
it, I
more
got it.
like, yeah.
Okay.
Has somebody been trying to poison him?
That's my question.
Matt, I sent you a message.
Where?
Messenger.
Samira, just
Yes.
so you know, you do have lesser restoration, which does cure a disease or condition.
Okay.
Okay, yep,
Thank you.
that's more along
Malcolm?
the line.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
Am I right?
No, it doesn't look like any of those.
Okay, cool.
It just looks like a fairly... like a jerry-rigged result of alchemy. Like somebody
Fuck.
trying to make the potion with not access to all the right stuff. So they
Ooh.
improvised.
Did
Okay,
Zuko think it was a rage potion?
Is somebody trying to poison him?
That's my question too.
Now, are you asking, like... Sorry, are you asking if somebody's trying to poison him with the potion, or if the what he's trying to kill himself is the result?
He said he's been feeling sick, and like
He
the
said he's been
potion,
feeling
it's
sick, yeah.
and then
It's very
like
rich.
the and the potion's supposed to help with like poisoning and stuff.
Okay, roll a medicine check before he takes the potion.
Oh my god.
Oh no! How bad?
No, it's a net 20 plus 1. 21.
Nice.
You do get the impression the nature of his ailment is magical. You also get the impression that it is incidental. It seems like he has been near something that is causing this condition, like almost like being exposed to radiation or something like that. Like he's been too close too many times to something, and it is having an effect on him.
Would there be anything magical around here?
Are you asking him?
Yeah, who are you asking?
I'm just wondering if there's any way to find out.
Are you asking him? I mean, he
Yeah, you know
would
what?
probably
Fine.
know.
Yeah,
he
I'm
would
gonna
probably
ask
know.
I'm gonna ask him.
So you're asking him if there's something magical around here?
Yeah.
Magical around here that could be making him,
sick.
could be making him sick.
I get the impression that they go through great efforts to make sure there's nothing magical inside the prison. However, who knows what's in that storeroom? It
Could
would
it
make
have
sense.
anything to do with Guillermo's drugs?
He thinks about that for a moment. Well, I don't know a lot about drugs. Is it possible to... I've never used any of it myself. But I don't know if... I mean, I know some of his drugs are magical in nature. It could... I don't know if it's possible to be exposed to something simply by being around the containers. Or it could be something inside that storeroom. This definitely started the first time I had to be lookout for him. I started feeling ill shortly after we got out of there.
Hmm.
There's something magic in that storeroom.
There's
I
something
want it.
magic in
Yep.
that storeroom.
Yep.
Knock him once.
Malcolm doesn't know.
Yeah,
This is
Malcolm
true.
doesn't know.
Doesn't know at
Ryan
this
knows.
point.
Ryan
Not
wants it.
here.
Zuko doesn't know either, but he probably wants more than Malcolm. Just saying.
Hey, what's that sound? Sounds like metagaming pigeons.
I'm intrigued by what is in that storeroom.
Cool.
Ask him about the magic items. Cool.
Mine?
Alright. Anybody else got anything? Or, yeah, those that are in the room.
I don't have any more
After,
questions.
because I know he's gonna take the potion anyway, and Ryan let me know I have lesser restoration that would be able to help out with what he's getting, how he's feeling. Is it possible to do that to help him out?
Yeah.
Well, the lesser restoration will only help if he's blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. So as long as
For the
he's
love of God.
poisoned by magic items, that would be that.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I think the potion you're talking about is the same. Is pretty much the same thing as the spell.
Right, and in both cases, though, the ailment he has is more narrative than mechanical, but for narrative purposes,
Okay,
yeah, your
I gotcha.
restoration has the same effect as the potion, and vice versa. So if you wanted to offer to do that, so he can save the potion in case he needs it again later, that would be a sensible thing that your character could do.
Okay, thank you.
It's almost like you could have cured him instead of seducing him to get what you wanted.
We didn't know he
For
was
the love of
sick
the
at the
God.
time.
He's not gonna live this down. Obviously, we played this game terrible.
No, you didn't. I'm just picking on you guys. You guys did fine.
He thanks you again. He seems very appreciative. You're really good people. I can't imagine how you
Yeah.
ended up in prison, honestly. But thank you. And I trust you're not going to tell anybody what I told you.
Not at all.
Of course not.
Not a word.
Bold-faced lies.
Only
I'm
both
sorry.
in real life, I won't
I'm
lie.
sorry. I'm sorry. Is Zuko there?
Zuko is just standing in the doorway, invisible, just bold face line.
Zuko comes running into the cell block. They're phonies! They're a bunch of big fat phonies! Alright, so is that the end of your conversation with him?
Yes.
Well,
Unless
actually, I would
anything
like
wants
to
to try
say
to-
that
unless-
if Guillermo tries anything with him, to come and tell us, and we can help him.
He seems a little taken aback by it, but even more appreciative knowing that he has capable people to get a hold of if he's in trouble. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll be sure to tell you if anything happens. I mean, what do you want me to do if he asks me to be lookout again? Do you want me to accept?
Son. Nothing.
I would say, so you do not get in trouble, you probably should accept and then come to
Yeah.
us.
Accept
Okay.
and then come to us.
Seems to have something on his mind, but he says, "Okay, I will. I'll let you know." And he watches as you leave.
So I kind of like nudge Echo. I'm like, poor kid's got blue balls now.
Okay, anyway. So, God. Alright, you all at the end of the day gather up for your final meal. Back at your own cell block, and we are going, in that note, we are going to go to break. We will be back in about 10, and we will allow the group to discuss what they learned and how it changes anything that they're doing going forward. We'll be back in a little bit.
Oh wait, no,
Sure.
you're we. I'm like, see.
CC.
Mom says C, and then I'm just like,
All right. So at the meal or after returning to your cells, you are free to discuss what you have discovered.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to remember everything that was said, so my brain's just like,
Where I took notes for you.
thank you. I can't take notes in the dark.
My notes know what you did in the dark.
Oh no.
perfect song choice for this.
So I'm gonna share mine where I found that there are 3 guard patrols that overlap during the day, passing by the stash. One is every 1.5 hours. That comes from the main gatehouse, which is where all the weapons are stored at. 45 minutes they come by the stash, by the guard from the guard tower right by the stash, and every 2 hours from the guard tower by the waterfall. And yeah, so there's a couple of good times where we'll have at least 45 minutes between guard arrivals for us to be able to get in and out of the stash if need be. But now that I think about it, we also have somebody invisible that can go into the stash too.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, the staff visible. Well, not like visible, but like if we were at it, could they see us?
Not once you're
Well, I
inside.
think there was like I was gonna say there's like a little thing we have to like crawl through, right?
Yep.
Oh, you know what? How many cell blocks are there?
Let's see. I believe it's in the range of like 40.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say the chime of opening would be the best thing to use to actually do the prison break, because we can unlock 10 cells with just the chime.
There's 40 blocks, and as you know, in your block there is 4 smaller clusters, each with about 4 or 5 cells that each contain
it's
about
like-
6 people.
That's not gonna be viable. We're gonna need to get keys somehow.
Yep.
It's one option. Yep.
I also have that dragon's tooth.
Oh no.
What is the dragon's tooth to?
Summons a dead dragon.
Yep.
That would be a pretty fucking good diversion, actually.
Can you imagine?
Sick.
I brought that up at the beginning, and Matt's like, "Ah, fudge."
But you summon a dragon, but you don't have any means of really controlling it, probably.
Right.
So it could theoretically attack us too. But if we summon it far enough away from the gatehouse, it could cause a distraction for us to get into the gatehouse.
Sounds about right.
'Cause, I mean, if
Can
we
you
have a
imagine
hard,
all these
if we have a hard-
guards trying to deal with an undead dragon?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're, I don't see any of these guards being like at our experience level and stuff like that as adventurers. So, if we had trouble with a dragon, they probably would not be able to take down an undead dragon fairly easily. It's going to take them some
Right,
time.
we did have trouble with that dragon. I forgot about that for a good minute.
You mean the wyvern?
Hey, did we ever sell the scales for that?
I don't know. I don't control your guys' inventory. I don't remember you doing anything with it.
I don't think we did.
Wasn't Zuko carrying all those scales?
Probably.
like he was.
No, I think you did.
I don't have them in my inventory. Let me scroll through. Oh wait, 2 Gladium Wyvern scales, 30 Gladium teeth.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
So no, we haven't done anything with them yet.
We will at some point.
Alright, so anything else you guys want to discuss?
Well, me and Mira talked to Jonas, and we found out that he's not currently working with Guillermo, but he will let us know if Guillermo approaches him again, and also that there is a magical source within the storage room, and also that he's been exposed to, along with the fact that that's how they're getting the drugs in, is through the storage room, and that there's several guards that are helping and know about it.
See, she's got better memory than I do, so. She
Yeah,
would be
and
the
then,
one that I could be like, I need you to write down an appointment.
And I would kind of just butt in and say, well, he seems like he potentially would be on our side. Maybe we just feel him out and see if he actually is.
Are you having this conversation in front of Barfoth? I don't know if you waited for him to get back or...
Well, yeah, I would say we would have waited for Barfoth to be back as well.
Okay. Barfoth chimes in on this. You give him a good cause, he may seem a little bit skittish, but you give him a good cause and he won't stand down. I told him he shouldn't join in on the desertion. Didn't think he would make it in here, but definitely didn't want to see him executed, which is what I thought was going to happen when this all started. But he insisted. He knew it was the right thing to do, and he wasn't going to be talked out of it. So, as much as he hates being a lookout for Guillermo, if we fill him in on at least some of the details, he may be willing to even do the job again in order to aid us in what we're trying to do.
And did you guys pretty much tell us like everything that he said? I'm assuming.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So he already thinks that you guys are good people. So I think if we fill him in on some of the details, the fact that he already thinks that you're good people will allow him to side with us, probably.
Did you guys tell them the entire story of what happened when you were over there?
No.
No, we did not.
Okay. Barfoth says, yes, I mean, you should have told him that you were friends of mine. It might have made your effort to get information out of him a little easier. I didn't realize you were going to talk to him, but...
Oh.
Oh, I didn't have to seduce him.
So wait, you guys didn't mention any of our cause, and you didn't mention Barfoth. How did you get information from him?
I am looking away at this point. I am looking away.
Hold on.
Twiddling my fingers, like...
Alright, so Barfoth got a 14 insight check. Does he get an idea of what you guys are not saying?
Wait, what?
He got a 14 insight check. Does he have an idea of what exactly you guys aren't talking about?
Wait, how do I check for that?
How do I check?
Well, I was just asking your opinion. I mean, I'll let you make the decision if that's high enough for him to realize why you look guilty and
Say.
awkward.
Okay. I've just been like, you may or may not have.
I'll go one step further. That Malcolm noticed Mira looked away, and decided to look into it. And was like, Malcolm rolled a 17 on his inside check.
What?
So can they tell?
Yeah.
Malcolm can definitely tell something's up.
I look from Mira to look from Mira to Echo and back to Mira, and Mira's not meeting my eye. Echo's blushing, and I'm like, okay.
Barfoth looks confused.
I'll tell you later, Barfoth.
Okay. Well, either way, future reference, you talk to him, let him know you're working with me. But
That would have made things so much easier.
Rather
I
than
mean,
you sitting on
let's-
his lap.
let's go out of character here for a second. You guys do realize we just saved his ass the day before, and that's really all you had to bring up, probably, to get the ball rolling.
His ass.
It's been a week.
You already knew that and you wouldn't say anything.
My fucking brain has gone through a lot of shit this week, so like I forgot a lot of shit.
Yeah. He saved his ass and he still wouldn't tell us anything.
Yeah, but just like, hey, we saved you yesterday. You know, you can't tell us anything about what's going on. Instead, we won't tell.
And we introduce you.
Oh, all of you, you're gonna keep bringing it over.
I love you guys. This is funny.
How about we
All
will
because I'm not in the
seduce
right mindset, so like my brain's just literally, my brain is fucking mush. I didn't get no coffee today.
But moving on, we know now that we can just bring up Barfout and her caused him.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll try to remember that. With my
anybody else have
perceptive
anything to
brain.
share?
Zuko, did you find anything else? I think you were tailing Guillermo, right?
Was. There's this ravine that's it's hard to describe where it is, but if you go from the waterfall and walk straight to directly above where our stash is, there's like a ravine there, and that's where he stores all of the drugs. Potentially, we could create a diversion if we were to take the drugs out of the storage, place them around the camp, and people find them.
Or we could all stick it in the wizard store.
Yeah,
Make
or
them
we
freak
just
the
straight
fuck
up
out.
steal it. Yeah. But that could be a pretty good diversion too when we're ready for it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I talked to them about, the number of guards, and that he is very, very worried about the quantity of the drugs that he has. He can't keep up with the demand.
Well, he lost a shipment the night
Yeah.
before.
So if he lost his shipment the night before, and he doesn't have enough to meet demand right now, if we were to take his current stash, he would really freak the fuck out, probably.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
And he'd probably turn on the guards in his organization because they're the ones that know where the stash is, probably.
Mhm.
Possibly.
The other
but I don't
people.
know.
So I feel like we could probably turn that entire organization on itself, probably.
Seems like we could, yeah.
Alright, anything else?
That was one piece of the puzzle. We still need to worry about the can't remember the name of the gang now. The Torgris gang, and then the Fight Club is the only two other factions, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Do we know where this guard sleeps?
Which guard?
The one that was eyeing me.
The one that runs the Fight Club.
I mean, we could stage a fight.
Oh no, I have a great plan to take care of this guy.
You guys do not know for sure where he is stationed when he's off duty. You could always try to find out. You could always try to attend one of these fights as an audience. Lots of options there, how you want to proceed with that.
We could always try and attend one of the fights and see where he goes from there.
We could. My thought process behind finding out where he either spends his time or sleeps is we could possibly get a guard uniform smuggled in and the Mask of Many Faces.
Oh. I love where you're heading
And
with it.
my guns, and I will just kill him in the dead of the night. Wearing his own face.
But your guns make a loud boom boom.
It's okay. I can be gone before anybody comes, probably.
Probably.
Mm.
I mean, you could always get a dagger and stab him in his sleep.
Daggers are no fun.
Like Alaric killed that the homeless person.
The most
Never
important
letting
part.
that one go.
The most important part is wearing the guard's own face as I kill him. You know.
Why does that feel like something from Game of Thrones, though, too?
Yeah,
No,
the Men of Many Faces or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
No, not that. Well, yeah, a little bit that. But I was talking about the fact that one of the guys was killed by a shadowy figure that looked like him. I
Yeah, one
Hey, no
of the...
spoilers.
Sorry. At least I didn't say the name of the person, so...
Girl, if you haven't watched the mess of the last season by now, then don't bother.
No, just that I've started watching it, and now I don't have HBO anymore.
Oh, we don't have HBO either. If we did, we would send you the login.
Message me after this session.
Oh shit, Ryan might set you up.
Alright, this is Dungeons and Dragons. We are totally not talking about illegally sharing streaming services.
It's not against the terms of service for HBO Max. They actually encourage it in their emails. Thank you.
Awesome.
Probably because of all the drama with Netflix going on right now, they're like, hey, you can share your password with us. We don't care.
Alright.
Anyways.
So, if that's all the discussion about what you guys learned today, who is going to the stash for the first run and how?
Malcolm, you're the one that's got the highest persuasion, correct? Or is it, where's the CC?
Persuasion? Let me look.
Mine's a +10.
Mine's just a +2.
Mhm.
We got Echo, aka Patrick Persuasi, over here.
Nice.
What's your idea on that?
Well, I'm trying to form it in my head. I can't form words in my brain at the moment.
My thought process was, at least for the first time, since Zuko can sneak into the stash without being seen, he could at least go in there and like write down what we want to come through.
Matt, did my headset make it upstairs?
Your headset?
Yeah, my case.
I have no idea. I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I found it. I'm blind. I found it.
We just have to decide what we want to get smuggled in on the first trip here.
Oh, something too before we move on for the conversations. Of course, while they were talking about the magical item he's been exposed to, they mentioned the fact that he was smuggled a potion.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oops.
A low quality one, albeit, but a potion nonetheless. So it appears there's somebody
Memory's not the best.
doing alchemy, or basically running a bootleg apothecary somewhere in the prison.
Yep.
That sounds like an awesome name for a band. Bootleg Apothecary.
It does.
It does. So we might need to ask around to see who's making these bootleg potions.
Be helpful.
Yeah, especially if there's going to be a fight on our way out. We definitely want to be able to have some way of healing if need be.
Mhm.
We can't really smuggle in a whole bunch of potions, probably. Although, Matt, does now I can't think of his freaking name. Lormer. Does Lormer have a key to our wizard's door too? Because he created it for us, didn't he?
That's a good question.
No, you
He
won't come with
created
that.
it.
Yeah, in theory, he probably should have. Yeah, because he originally created it for Malcolm, or actually probably Percival at the time, but...
So theoretically, if he has a key for it, then he could just dump a whole bunch of shit in there for us. Like on the night of.
Yeah.
Like on the night of the prison break, for us to be able to like distribute out to people.
That is an option, yep.
I like that. You clever man.
So I think the wizard's doorknob is something that can probably be smuggled in and just left in the box in the stat. Oh no, that's so iffy. So if we take stuff out, or if we leave stuff in it,
Mm-hmm.
if we leave something in the box, we run the risk of somebody stumbling upon the stash and taking whatever's inside of it, or seeing us go and leaving something in the stash. But if we take the wizard's doorknob out of the stash, we'd have to hide it somewhere.
And
True.
they do bed checks and stuff like that.
Not, well, yeah, you don't know how often or, what triggers it, but...
Can we ask, what's, oh my god, I forgot his name.
Or Falfamule.
Yes.
Arfalf.
Does he know how often they would happen?
Not with any regularity. Usually they have to receive some sort of tip that something that would be considered contraband is located in a specific place. And that has to be reliable evidence too. There's just too many cells in this prison for them to do it regularly.
Hey, Matt,
Yeah.
is this a dirt floor that we're in for our cell, or is it like a wood floor, or what?
Stone.
Or concrete.
Oh, fuck.
Carved stone.
Never mind. I think I know what idea he had too.
Same.
Dig a hole in the wall and put a poster of Rita Hayworth over it.
Or a lusty Argonian maid.
The busty Argonian.
Yes. Oh my god, Matt, do you have a version of that in your world? Because that would be fucking amazing.
I'll think on that. I can probably include something like that.
Great reference to Skyrim, just to be like, yeah.
Alright, so how you get into the stash? What are you asking for?
Okay.
But I think one of the things we're gonna ask for is the chime of opening. It's only like a foot long and it's only a pound, so it's like not very big. So that should be something I could probably hide on my person somewhere.
Yep.
Like way up in your butt.
Keister it.
Alright, what else? Oh, of course, the scroll of message is going to be included automatically. I believe that was one of the things you asked to be put in first.
Yes. Which again, that should be easy enough to hide on my person.
Mm-hmm. It just looks like paper to anybody who's looking at it. So honestly, it wouldn't even be a big deal if somebody saw it, just as long as they didn't see how it was used. I feel like Mask of Many Faces was already discussed too, because it was something that wouldn't draw too much attention, but it would, like when they were searching you on your way in, it would have been a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll take the Mask of Many Faces, chime of opening. I think that's all I necessarily need on the first, trip, probably. For myself, you guys feel free to jump in.
I'm trying to think of what would Mira need.
How noticeable is her belt if she were to get her belt brought in?
It's constantly
Yeah,
active.
it's a pretty big belt.
It's constantly active?
Yeah, so it would set off alarms after a while of being on.
So the belt stays over there. Got it.
Till D-Day. Or eviction day. Until you inform your landlords that you are not staying anymore.
Yeah, I don't think
I
there's
had
any
Petzl here
items
the
I
whole
can
time.
smuggle in.
I'm trying to think of all the magic items that you have.
The Cloak of Displacement, but I think that's always on too.
I don't have it attuned either. It's one of those things that I haven't really used it.
Your cloak that is attached
attuned.
to your cloak that is attached to the Mantle of Ivor. That's not active all the time, so in theory you could bring that in without. But I don't know if you have any purpose of.
I don't see the Mantle of Ivor on my inventory.
I may not have added it as an item because you hadn't been using it yet, but it's the wolfskin mantle for the cloak that allows you to transform into a wolf. I don't know if you'd have any use for that in here. But...
Yeah, I don't see it in her inventory.
Yeah,
I don't. It's not in my. It's not in D&D Beyond, but it might be in my binder.
Yeah. Anything
Don't really
anybody
see
else?
anything for Zuko or for Echo's inventory.
She hasn't gotten much cool stuff yet.
Nope.
No, not yet, but she will.
She just joined us. It's understandable.
Yeah, I suppose I could smuggle that.
Zuko has his Ring of Regeneration, but that's always active, so that's probably not a good one to bring.
Right.
Just like I have the necklace, when that would be always active too.
Your all-purpose tool.
Yeah.
That'd be a
I,
good thing
I
to bring.
believe I brought that in with me.
I thought they would have. Well, I guess yeah, because it's not always active. They probably wouldn't have. They probably wouldn't have noticed it.
Anything else? Alright, if that's all the items you're going to request, so Zuko's doing it first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so how are you avoiding getting locked in? Are you just turning invisible and staying outside until it's time?
I mean,
Or do you want to go before the cells even close? Because you've got about an hour before that happens.
is that enough time to do that?
Ah,
It's
wait,
not
yeah,
far.
it just occurred to me though that they said you could request stuff the night before and it would be in there by morning. So you'd have to hang out in the stash until it came back or come back for it later. But you need the scroll of message, which should already be in the chest, in order to make your request at the very least.
Then I think Malcolm should get the scroll of message. We write down what we need.
Well, I mean, the scroll message, anybody can use it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. We did I not say we? Because I cursed when I.
Well, I mean, we can always
Number
you can always go
right.
get it. You can always go get it and bring it back. I can write down our request real quick, and then Zuko can just go back to the stash in the morning and get everything.
That sounds like a good idea.
During breakfast.
Well, Zuko's not going to miss a meal, so after breakfast, invisible probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm.
Yeah,
You're gonna get between me and my
will take
food?
anything for free.
All
I
right.
mean, we made this man jump into a cold ass lake just for a gold piece.
All right, so Zuko, you head out before the cells close. Invisible. It's starting to get dim, and traffic is already dying down in the canyon. People are heading back to their respective cell blocks. So you make your way across towards the mesa, and you find the opening on the southern side of it, or I guess that would technically be from perspective of this map, it's south. But you find when you get there that crawl is the operative word. This is a narrow gap, longer than it is tall, next to this mesa, but unmistakably this is the entrance that was being discussed. What do you do? You going in head first or feet first?
Mind the gap, bruv.
Say what?
Said mind the gap, bruv. I was trying to be English. Didn't work very well.
I'll probably crawl in head first.
All right. So you crawl in and begin scooting your way down. It is very claustrophobic, a tight squeeze, and it begins to angle downwards. So you have to actually keep yourself from sliding down this rock embankment. And finally it starts narrowing from side to side, but gets a little bit taller, so you're actually going through a true tunnel. And at the end of this tunnel, which is not quite large enough to stand in, but you can crouch You see the chest that was promised, and opening it up inside, you find the scroll of message, Mask of Many Faces, which was what you guys requested to be there when you started. So you're just grabbing that stuff and heading out?
Yes.
Alright, so you crawl your way back out, make it just in time for the cell doors to close, and you bring the stuff to your compatriots, where you write down a message to Lorimer, letting him know what you want there in the chest the next morning. And that is where we will end our session. When we come back in 2 weeks, we will see how everything proceeds as they start manipulating the political structure of the prison and preparing for their breakout. Don't forget, tomorrow at 7, maybe a few minutes late, but it should be around 7, I will be doing Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning for Fantasy Night, and then I will be off all of next week, most likely, since I'll be working every day. And when we get back, we will do 90s Nights. That is it for us tonight. Thank you for everybody who watched, both live and on the VOD. I will try to get the recap out as soon as possible, as well as the YouTube VOD. Should still be able to do that sometime this coming week. And until then, we will see you next time. Have a good night.